The transfer saga of Alexander Isak from Newcastle to Liverpool is a classic example of modern football drama, ambition, resistance, and the irresistible pull of a new challenge. It's a story where a player longs to climb higher, a club fights to hold on to its star, and another side waits in the shadows, desperate to bring him home. In many ways, it's the perfect reflection of the contradictions that define today's game: loyalty versus ambition, business versus passion. The drama began in silence, an uneasy calm that left fans and journalists guessing. For weeks, Isak kept quiet, avoiding any public statement. Then, on the 20th, he finally broke cover with a bombshell Instagram post. In it, he accused Newcastle of breaking promises and declared that the relationship was beyond repair. St. James's Park shook. The club had always insisted no such promises were made, but now the trust between player and club was shattered. The tension only grew when Liverpool tabled a staggering £110 million bid, the kind of offer that makes any player dream. Newcastle flatly rejected it, insisting that the club's interests came first. But for Isak, something had already been lost. His faith was gone. The breaking point came as Newcastle scrambled to find a replacement. They tried and failed to lure Yoane Wissa from Brentford and Jurgen Strand Larsen from Wolves. In the opening match of the season, they were even forced to push Anthony Gordon into the striker role, an image that drew sighs from the Toon Army. Relief finally came with the signing of Nick Woltemade from Stuttgart for nearly £70 million. That move changed everything. With a replacement secured and the Saudi Public Investment Fund ready to approve, Newcastle's board sent a clear message: raise the offer to £130 million, and Isak could go. At last, the door to Anfield stood wide open. For Liverpool, this was never a frantic chase. It was a waiting game, played with patience and precision. They avoided bidding wars, confident Newcastle would eventually corner itself. Meanwhile, the English media buzzed with speculation about Arne Slot's plan. Jamie Carragher, never shy about voicing his opinion, urged his former club to get the deal done. Isak was the striker Liverpool had to sign. Some even argued the club should go further and tie up the signing of Mark Guehi as well. After the win over Arsenal, the English press claimed Liverpool still needed a finishing blow to keep their edge in the title race, and Alexander Isak looked like the perfect piece of the puzzle, not to replace the in-form Hugo Ekitikê, but to add depth and give Arne Slot the power to change games at will. The £130 million deal, swiftly confirmed by the Telegraph as a new British transfer record. More importantly, it delivered a lasting lesson. In football, money may open the door, but trust is what holds people together. Newcastle could have kept Isak for another season, but once a player publicly speaks of betrayal, the bond is almost impossible to repair. The saga may be over, but its echoes will be remembered as one of the most dramatic transfer stories in Premier League history. Before Isak, Liverpool under Slot were preparing to defend their Premier League crown without a true number 9. The fluidity of the midfield, combined with the rotation of Florian Wirtz, Cody Gakpo, and Mohamed Salah, gave them control, but sometimes left them lacking that ruthless edge in front of goal. The arrival of Hugo Ekitikê earlier in the summer had eased the concern, but Slot kept pushing the board to complete the record-breaking deal. And for good reason. Isak brings something entirely different. At 6 feet 3 inches with a tendency to drift wide and create his own space, he isn't a classic penalty box poacher. He's a forward who can hold the ball, stretch defenses, and link play. Ekitikê, by contrast, thrives on dropping deeper, combining with quick 1-2s and then bursting into space. Put the two together and the contrast is clear. Isak pins down defenders and attacks the far post. Ekitikê orchestrates moves and cuts through lines with pace. The result? Salah and the others finally have a reliable focal point for crosses and through balls, no longer forced to conjure magic in tight spaces on their own. Arne Slot has already shown a preference for two tactical blueprints when fielding a two-striker system. Against high-pressing sides, he often goes direct with a 4-4-2, the two forwards mirroring each other's movements. Isak drifts to the left, Ekitikê to the right. Van Dijk and Konate are given license to hit long diagonals, while Mac Allister or Szoboszlai drop deep to draw the press. This creates the transition lanes needed for progression, with Frimpong pushing high on the right and Kerkez balancing on the left, reshaping the structure into a 3-2-5 in possession. A familiar pattern emerges. The ball is recycled to Salah in the right half space, and from there he delivers a cross to the far post, where Isak towers over the fullback. At times, Isak will even drop into midfield, allowing Ekitikê to dart into the vacated space. When Liverpool need control and sustained pressure, Slot reshapes the side into a 4-2-3-1 that morphs into a 3-2-5. Isak plays as the number 9, with Florian Wirtz drifting in from the left as a creative number 10. Ekitikê starts wide on the left, but cuts inside, overloading central areas. Kerkez is tasked with holding the width on the flank, while Bradley or Frimpong secure the right side, ensuring defensive balance. In this setup, Gravenberch often gets the nod ahead of Szoboszlai. His stability and tempo management are invaluable in sustaining pressure. With a front line already brimming with invention, Wirtz, Salah, and Ekitikê, Liverpool require a controller in midfield to steady the balance. The risk of a dual striker setup is, of course, losing numbers in central zones. To minimize that, Slot needs a compact mid-block and an aggressive double pivot to protect transitions. Positional discipline is the key. Wirtz must operate in the left half space where he can spark moments of brilliance, while Salah should remain high enough to constantly pin back defenders. Alexander Isak doesn't just change the shape. He transforms Liverpool's attacking firepower, especially in decisive moments. Ekitikê plays the role of the lubricant, keeping the attack fluid, while Wirtz remains the creative heartbeat. Another bonus comes in set pieces. With Isak alongside Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool suddenly boast towering aerial power at corners and free kicks. Put it all together and Slot's Liverpool have the chance to become a multi-dimensional side. Clever enough to control possession, ruthless enough to land the knockout punch when it truly matters. £130 million for Alexander Isak is not just about buying a striker who scores goals. When you look deeper into Arne Slot's blueprint for Liverpool, it's an investment in probability. The probability of winning titles over the long haul, and of unlocking the ability to thrive across multiple tactical systems. This summer alone, Liverpool have spent over £340 million, not to build around one superstar, but to construct a layered, versatile squad ready for rotation. Within that framework, Isak becomes the most expensive piece of the puzzle, yet one that could prove priceless. Translate his value into points, and you can easily argue he's worth an extra 7 or 8 in the Premier League race, especially in tight 1-0 victories or matches where Liverpool are under siege. In a league where titles have been decided by a single draw, that calculation suddenly makes perfect sense. His arrival elevates the depth of Liverpool's attack. Now, Slot has 2 distinct striker profiles to choose from, depending on the opponent. Against high-pressing teams, he can unleash Isak alongside Hugo Ekitikê in a dual-striker setup, stretching defenses horizontally and exploiting space with alternating runs. This gives Liverpool a sharper edge in quick transitions. Against deep blocks, Isak becomes the traditional number 9, prowling the box, pulling defenders apart with clever movement, and linking play through the middle. His versatility forces Liverpool's other attackers to adapt, raising their own output in the process. Of course, there's risk. Jamie Carragher has already voiced concerns about Isak's durability, with a history of injuries that demands careful management. Slot understands this. His solution: strategic rotation. Ekitikê will not be labeled a backup, but treated as an equal partner. The message to the dressing room is crystal clear. Isak is the finisher. Ekitikê is the connector. Both are indispensable. In a squad full of big personalities, that balance is key. So this £130 million move is not about making a statement. It's about executing a vision. Slot wants Liverpool to be a team with 2 winning modes. One that controls, suffocates, and wears opponents down, and one that delivers the knockout punch when the moment is right. If the system clicks, this signing won't just help Liverpool defend their Premier League crown, it could pave the way to conquering Europe, and that is the true value of this record-breaking deal. Transforming a strong side into a team with multiple ways to win on every stage the game has to offer.